things that might seem really silly to other people, but for me, it's such a deal breaker. And it might be very small things, but they're so important to me. And if those little things aren't followed, it creates kind of stress and chaos in my life, like as a constant feeling. And it's like, that doesn't bring me happiness.
Hey, I'm your host, Ronja Sakata, Queen of Joy, that's how my friends call me, talking to you from Zurich, Switzerland. I want to make this world more joyful and playful and colorful because we don't have a guarantee for tomorrow, so let's enjoy today. Will you join me? I'm all in. I founded the Joy Academy for exactly that reason, and on the Let's Create Joy podcast, we talk visions, dreams, self-care, habits, challenges, creating joy, and much more in motivational solo episodes at the beginning of the month and inspiring talks with my wonderful guests. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Joy is my compass for getting fun and tangible daily inspiration for our monthly topic. You make the difference and you are the most important person in your life. Yes, we can live our best lives right now while we have our big vision in our head and heart. Let's dive right in. Enjoy! Welcome, Prita Grealy, to this episode of the Let's Create Joy podcast. I'm so excited. You're in Australia, I'm in Switzerland, but I'm lucky enough to call you my friend and that we met several times. And that feels just even more connected. I mean, it's just fabulous that this is possible around the world. Hello.
I know, I love it.
Welcome and introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And what brings you joy? How do you create joy? And this month is all about mindset and having fun. So we will talk about that too. The world is yours, or the mic is yours.
Thank you for that beautiful welcome. I'm so honored to be asked to do an interview with you too, because you're one of my favorite people in the world. And I love it that you live in Zurich, and I've visited you so many times on my way to gigs and things, and Switzerland and Berlin and stuff. And now I'm here and we can still connect. I love it. I'm back home in Australia in Fremantle, in my own house, which I bought, a year ago. And I'm a singer-songwriter, and I've been touring professionally around the world, mainly Europe, for the last 8 years from Berlin. And then I moved home just over a year ago, and I've been thrust into another job, which is managing a cafe full-time. And so I've been doing that full-time for the last 18 months or so, and I'm just about to leave that job again and go back into more music and more things that I love. Hallelujah.
The cafe was so joyful too. I just saw your post about the velvet cakes, the cupcakes. Like it's a place filled with joy and love for food, and I know you love food, so
I love food. I love coffee. Yeah, definitely.
So how is like joy being created in your everyday life? I know you're a pro, so but you're doing everything differently than normal people, or whatever normal means. So it's super fun to listen to what brings you joy and how you create.
Well, for example, today is my first day off of my weekend, and so today, like most Fridays now, something I do for myself, which brings me joy, is I go on adventure walks. So because we can't really travel all over the world at the moment, which I miss a lot, I go on my own little travel kind of thing here. So I'll just go somewhere, like I'll either walk from my house to somewhere new, or I'll drive somewhere and then go for a walk from there. And I'll just maybe walk for an hour, and just whatever happens. So I'll go on an adventure, and I'll go down a side street and like find a little cafe I've never been to and have like breakfast or a coffee or something. Maybe I meet somebody and talk to them, and then walk down a different way and take photos of nice gardens or whatever, so for me that's something that brings me so much joy, just having these little adventures and little kind of, there's a butterfly at my window. Just as I say that, just literally came and bobbed on the window, went away. That's just one example of something that I have to do to keep my spirit happy and alive,
Yeah, and that's so cool. So the title of that is Adventure Walk. I mean, how cool is that? Hashtag Adventure Walk with Prita or whatever.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. And sometimes I post little videos of that on my Instagram as well. Like today I went to Bibra Lake and I've never really been there, like a new place for me. It's very close, but I just haven't really spent time there. And it's beautiful Australian native bushland and a beautiful lake with the sun shining on it and lots of birds. And I was like, I got to spend more time here. Like, it's just beautiful, Yeah.
And do you just decide like left or right with every crossroad, or you have a dice sometimes, or you just go with the intuition?
I just mainly go with the intuition. Like my intuition, like a few weeks ago, I just had a feeling one day, like, I wonder how long it would take me to walk to the beach from here, because it's close to the beach, but it's not like what I would say walking distance, But I thought, I wonder how long it would take me to walk. And then I just thought, I'll just go for a walk and see. And so I walked straight down like the main road that leads directly towards the ocean. And then it took me down some pathways and I had to go left and right and up and down. And it was a beautiful adventure. And it took me probably 45 minutes to walk to the beach, which is great. It's a great walk, And then that day I kind of ended up, walking all the way into Fremantle, which is about a 10-minute drive. So to walk, it's a lot further, but or maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then I wandered all through like South Fremantle and got a coffee and like saw some people. And then I rang my auntie and she ended up, hanging out with me for a while. And then she dropped me off back home because I didn't feel like walking home after walking for a few hours. I was just like, I can't turn off now. But it's like an adventure, just going wherever it takes you. Yeah.
And that's actually what you do in a new city when you go to Paris or to Barcelona or wherever you go. Like then you discover your city and you feel adventurous, and at home it's like, oh, why would I do that? And that's what I love now, what you say, like.
Yeah. And you don't realize like there's so many untapped like secret places or like little neighborhoods where it's actually like, oh wow, I never knew that was there. Or like when my sister was here, we kind of went to walk towards the beach and we decided, oh no, we're going to go left here. And we walked all the way to these shops, which I knew the shops were there, but I'd never walked there before. And on the way, we saw this little community school, which I didn't even realize was there. And we found all these other little shops on the way and like little signs that are written in handwriting. And like, you would never see that if you were driving. And like little flowers for people that, passed away on that side of the road. And, even though that's sad, it's a beautiful thing to see, like this memorial for somebody, and little signs for jobs, and like we were laughing at how the code of how it was written is like, if you would only understand that job description if you were a bricklayer, because to a normal person it made no sense. It was like something times something per kilowatt, blah blah blah, this, and we're like, what the hell? And we just thought, wow, it's so specific, to that person. And those little details that you see when you're walking that you just whiz by when you're driving, it's so fast. So I love,
that's for me, just listening to you brings me joy, because that's like the key to a happy life and to joy, that everywhere, even if you're stuck in an airport, you can have an adventure. You can watch people, you can talk to people. I mean, I think, I was quite judgy, when I was, 25, like, ooh, look at their pants, or ooh, like commenting, not mean, but like bickering around. And now I'm like, ooh, what, I would love to talk to this person and this person. Like everybody has a story to tell. So
absolutely,
just that, like spending time with random strangers is an adventure, and you can listen to stories of a lifetime. So wherever you are, if you switch to adventure mode, you can have an adventure.
Absolutely. And I quite often do that, like, you know, me, like when I'm traveling. And so many times when I was traveling on like a train or plane or something, I ended up talking to whoever was around me. And, you know, if they felt like talking, if I felt like talking. I mean, sometimes you just want to sit in silence, and that's great too. But there's moments when you just feel it open up, you know. And so many times I ended up giving them my music card and getting a gig out of it as well. So it led to actually me performing at their house or at their business or at their event, but just because we made that little connection and that contact, and there was a mutual kind of like feeling, goodwill feeling, you know. And I just love that too, that, like you say, everybody has a story. And being a songwriter, that's such an important thing to like kind of listen to people's stories, and, you know, hear about when that guy was in the war and flew his plane over and met his wife in Italy and you know, just these are magical things that you go, there's so much more to life, so much more.
Yeah, and if you take it all in, that was something Alec Penny was pointing out all the time in our interview. It was really in the beginning of the podcast, like taking it all in. I think of him so many times, and of course I did that before, but I just love his British accent, like take it all in, like all your senses, you know, hearing, smelling, like even touching, like the chair I'm sitting on. I feel the texture of the cover. Like it gets more, I don't know, is it interesting or fulfilled, or just life is an adventure. And you don't, I mean, traveling is cool, bungee jumping is cool, not for me, but like if you need the extra something and you miss it now, but please create your adventure in your everyday life.
Yeah.
And then you have an adventure every day.
And I think also, like how you're saying, like take everything in and like notice all, like the chair and the feeling. I also do this in the opposite way, as in, like, if I'm feeling discomfort, this tiny little, like right now I'm sitting funny, so I'm like, okay, just stretch my leg out. And just it's such a little thing, by paying attention and changing that when you feel it, can then create more space for like a happier feeling or a better feeling. And I quite often notice myself these days and catch myself if I'm like dwelling on something or being like thinking of something too much. I sort of see it and I catch it, and then I go, you don't have to spend your time thinking about that right now. Let it go. Or why are you putting energy into that, like when you could be putting energy into like feeling positive and feeling good about something? Why are you dwelling on that shitty thing someone said, you know? So I've just been playing with that feeling recently of just like, it's kind of, for me, it's like I see it like a bank account. Like, what am I investing in? Am I investing in positivity or am I investing in negativity? You know, and when I catch myself, I go, oh, why am I spending so much money on the negativity today? Like, let's change it. Let's spend more time on the positive side and like generate that good feeling, because it is a choice, you know, like you were saying earlier, always a choice.
And you said, don't dwell on the thing that shitty thing that person said. You're not, I think, and I know that you don't do that, like pushing deep feelings away. That's not helpful, like sadness, grief, whatever. That's not what you're talking about. And that's a big difference of toxic positivity, you know, like, oh, just smile, oh, just be happy, don't cry, don't be sad. That's not what we are talking about. And that's so important. So the shitty things somebody said, you might not even know, dwelling on that is just not helpful. But if you're sad, if you're grieving, like, I think even there, take it all in. Like, there's a beauty in and it's not negative feelings, it's deep
like
human
feeling
feelings.
All your feelings.
Yes.
Sorry, yes. I'm just bumping all of this.
So this is just important to me to point that out.
For sure.
Difference.
I agree. Like recently I had a gig. I played a gig I hadn't played in a while, and played in a pub in Australia, you know. And pub gigs in Australia is that you're always bound to get some drunken people being idiots. It's just normal. And
Oh,
it's just like, not everybody, but there will be one or two, that's just, you got to expect it in a way, and I did have one guy come up, and he basically wanted his friend to get up and play a song and use my equipment, use my gear. And I said no, because I was like, my boundaries are much more clearer these days. I used to be very like unsure what to do in that situation, but now I'm very clear, like, no, that's my equipment. Nobody touches it. That's mine. And he said some really snarky comment to me because I said no. It wasn't the outcome he wanted. So he basically said, well, you're not that good anyway, and walked away and didn't even stay to like have a conversation about that, just like threw that negativity and walked away. And I was so mad. Like, I got so angry in that moment. I was like rage, like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. But I then just tried to like use that energy in my music and like sing the best I could possibly sing, and like, just, I'll show him, I'm amazing, just like, and I did end up saying some, sarcastic things over the microphone at him because I was annoyed at him. And I also thought, well, you're really silly to like say that to someone who has a microphone, you're not the one with the microphone, buddy, and eventually he left, and I was like, thank God for that. Like, he's gone, But that comment, I dwelled on that comment. And it's like, even though I knew it wasn't true, even though I knew in myself, I didn't question my own self-worth. When I years ago, I would have gone, oh, maybe I'm not that good, or maybe he's right. I actually was like, oh, what a jerk. Like, I'm great. He's a jerk. What a jerky thing to say. But I still hung on to that comment because it was this kind of righteous feeling in me, like, nobody can say that to me. Oh, how dare he? And I thought, the amount of energy that I spent thinking about that and when I could have just focused on the whole rest of the gig, where people were loving it and singing along, and there was people dancing, someone brought me a whiskey. I could have focused on that, but I didn't, because this one thing was annoying me, So I think for me it's a real kind of thing I just notice, and I try and, like, I don't know, challenge myself to kind of, spend enough time on it, but then let it go. Like, don't spend days on it. One day's enough. Like, let yourself dwell on it and be angry for one day, maybe, if you feel that's necessary, and then just let it go. It's not necessary to continue. So that's for me personally.
He might even don't remember his comment because he was drunk. You know, and like what I like to imagine is like, being in his skin must be so hard, or so energy consuming, if you dare to comment on other persons, like, in their face like that. You're not a happy person. So he's like, wishing,
like, you feel sorry for them in a way.
Like, feel sorry, or just like compassionate, like, oh, all the best to you, darling. Bye. And then you're free. But I know it's not as easy as it sounds now, but I think it's a training to train yourself, like, and like you're saying before, I think it's very different when you're feeling a very, like, I mean, not that, I mean, anger, I think anger is legitimate, and I'm still learning to kind of come to terms with actually letting myself feel anger, because I think for many years I just felt too afraid to even feel anger. So I would push it away because I felt like it wasn't safe to be angry, or how are you supposed to express anger in a healthy way? But now I'm starting to recognize that it comes up when a boundary is being crossed, or if I haven't been clear with a boundary. So I'm like, okay, like, that's interesting. I need to be maybe more clear with my boundaries, and then it won't trigger me so much. And so I won't feel so angry, but it's still telling me something important. Like, it's still important for me to recognize, like, oh, that's a valid feeling, it's valid to feel pissed off or angry, And I know this is supposed to be about joy, but I don't know. I don't know. No, but that's important, and that's so good. I think when we talk about the whole life, we don't focus smiling on joy, and everybody's like, and that's just not real life, and that's the whole point. One client in the Joy Academy, she was talking about the realization she had in a supermarket, like, and she felt her choice that she will do this evening like this, and not like feeling pressured. and as she chose to do it this way, it freed up everything, and she didn't have to snark at her family. She felt like, oh,
Yeah.
I decided this, so I will do it that way. How cool is
Yeah.
that? It's about
Yeah.
in your everyday life to be a friend to yourself, to coach yourself in a good way,
Yeah.
to let the feelings happen, and be curious about yourself, about your reactions, and not about being perfect or joyful all the time, otherwise you don't pass the joy test or whatever. Like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Or
no,
you
no.
don't, or you feel it authentically, you know. Yeah. And like we were talking before about, you know, sometimes when I can't sleep, I get up and I start baking, you know. I just like, you know, because it brings me joy. Like I make macaroons because I love color and I love flavor and I just love creating things. So, you know, things like that bring me joy in the middle of the night when I'm actually like, oh my God, I can't sleep. How annoying. And because I'm lying there being frustrated. But that frustration leads to me just getting up and being active and doing stuff and being creative, which I love, you know. So it's funny sometimes there's like might be like a negative or a other feeling that pushes you to create joy or pushes you into being in another state of mind or state of being, you know, because something's like grating against you, you know.
Yeah, but it's again a choice. You could completely fall apart in your bed that you can't sleep, or you just do something about it, and there are like a million possibilities, and you chose macarons. I mean,
Yeah.
how fun is that?
And then there's a million choices of colors and flavors and toppings.
We have to show the pictures in the
Yeah.
Instagram, in the
Yeah.
Instagram quotes with
Yeah.
your
For sure.
picture.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah.
So as this month topic is about fun, and again, fun is so personal, you know, and what even means fun to me, that's the big question. And it's the same with joy. What brings me joy? If you know that, you can create joy. And
Yeah.
fun, what do you think? Is fun even more difficult to feel on purpose? Or I think it
No.
is. Joy is easy to me. Fun, this really fun feeling like, ooh, this is fun. And it's near joy, maybe. And we don't have
Yeah.
to
I'm
do
just
a
thinking, what's the difference?
scientific.
But what do you think is the difference between fun and joy? Like, what's the line, or what's the like shade that's different?
You're challenging me. Like fun is for me, joy is really, I'm so used to feel joy with the little things, even a touch or a hug or a thought. About when I think of you, I feel joyful and grateful also that you are my friend. Really, when I read something about you or when I listen to your music, I'm like, oh, but that's not fun. It's joy
Okay.
and thankful feelings.
Yeah.
So this fun. I have fun
Fun.
when I go down a slide in a park because I
Yeah.
just love slides. And in my dream
Yeah.
house, I have a slide from top to bottom.
I love that. I love that about you.
But what is fun? Prita Grealy, tell me.
Well, for me, I love rollerblading. Like, for me, that's so fun. And like, whenever I go, if the weather's good and if I go put my skates on and go around the park, I just have so much fun. It like I just start rolling, and I'm just like, I get in a zone of just like moving, and I put really good music on, and I kind of dance while I slide. I dance, and I'm like, yeah, sing and dance and slide. And so for me, that, and being outside, I love being outside in nature and getting sunshine and, you know, the breeze and the birds. And for me, that's such a complete feeling of joy and fun, you know, and it's creating that fun happiness because I know it's something that I really enjoy, you know. And the other day, one of my friends, we booked like a date together, you know, and we were going to go kayaking. But because I just got this tattoo the other day, I couldn't get it like wet. So I thought, oh, maybe we should change the activity. And she was like, oh, maybe we can go ice skating. So I was up for ice skating because there's a rink here somewhere. But then the time was too late because I had another thing in the afternoon. So we looked up, well, what's the next thing we could do? And it was like, oh, she was like, there's an indoor rollerblading rink with like disco lights and disco music. And we can get dressed up and like da, da, da. So we looked up the times for that, and it was perfect. It fit really well for our plans for the day. And then we invited my auntie as well, because she likes to just do fun things as well. And so the three of us went like rollerblading at this roller rink indoors with all these like disco lights, and there were so many kids like having like birthday parties, and it was so much fun. But the most fun for me was when I put my own headphones on and started listening to Stormzy, like having my rap hip hop music and dancing while I skated. That was for me just like pure joy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think doing things which bring you joy, bring you fun too. Like or dressing up. I mean, for some people this is the worst nightmare ever, and for others it's like, ooh, I'm a child again, and and this is just so much fun. And then I think doing fun things and really showing your fun and feeling the fun is something you have to be free enough to feel and show, because it's not, like not normal. I say normal
acceptable.
Too much, but acceptable.
It's like it's not acceptable. Yeah.
Are you childish now, or is it okay to show my, just like when I say woohoo, somewhere Mika is like, Mama,
sorry,
you're embarrassing, kind of like,
yeah.
Don't.
Someone was just trying to call me.
Or like singing, yodeling on the slope with my snowboard or skiing. I love that. And Mika's like, oh, I go ahead. I'm not I'm not connected to you. I don't know you. So
I love it.
I was just now thinking, is fun something found where it could be embarrassing? Like,
yeah, I think so. I think it's like it can be on the edge of stuff for some people. And yeah, sometimes it is stuff that's like considered childish. But I remember thinking, like in my early 20s, when is it that people stop using play equipment? In the parks, there's so much play equipment, and sometimes I like to just go on the swings, because I love swings, and I'll just sit there and go on a swing. And it's like, as an adult, it's very unusual to see another adult on a swing in a park.
If you don't have a child with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I don't have a child with me, so it's like, if I go to a park, or if someone sees me swinging in a park, I might feel a bit like, oh, if I'm not in the right mood, feeling confident, I might think, oh, they might think I'm silly, or I might be embarrassed. But it's like, I actually just really enjoy the feeling of like flying through the air and like looking up at the sky and putting your feet up and seeing how high you can go. And I remember just thinking, like, one time, how come we stop doing this? Like, why has anybody said, well, like, once you reach 21, you're not allowed to go on equipment anymore. You're not allowed to do swings or slides or park things. You have to be serious. Like, is there kind of a rule or an age? But it's like, there isn't. So why do we stop? Like, why aren't there 50-year-olds swinging on swings and going down slides? Oh my goodness. Sorry, my mum keeps trying to call me. Hi, Mum. Go away, Mummy. I'll call you later, Mum.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And we have an indoor playground now. Mika is too old, or she might still enjoy it, because I super enjoy it, but you have to have at least one kid with you, otherwise you're not allowed to go in there as a grown-up.
What?
Yeah, well, it's for kids, like yeah, I think.
But are you allowed to go on the things?
It's a protection thing, so you
that's
can't.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
That's a bad thing about our world, that you have to protect indoor playgrounds of grown-ups going in there without an alibi kid. But we were like, my sister, my husband, and my father-in-law, and Mika, like 3 grown-up and 1 alibi kid. And my sister, she was too shy to go to the ball pit in the IKEA. We went when she was under 6, and then I think above 6 you're not allowed to go to this daycare thing of IKEA.
Yeah.
And she always regretted it, like, oh my God, I missed the ball pit because I didn't want to be alone down there without my mom. So we were in this indoor playground, and my sister and I were in this ball pit, no kids around, like go away. That's our dolphin. just in heaven. It was so much fun. And I really think when I'm a millionaire, then I will create an indoor playground for grown-ups, I think.
Ah, that's such a good idea. I can see it.
I mean, water parks are kind of for grown-ups, right? But like,
or sort of for both,
you could work on a swing, or just crazy ideas, but you need money for having a big hall and maintaining the beauty and the
well, it's like it's kind of cool. Like the park opposite my house here, they have like really big size flying foxes where you can sit on them.
What is a flying fox?
It's like a rope or a chain that goes from one end to another end, like really far apart. And then you sit on something that kind of takes you from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Like just rolls along. I don't know the mechanics of it, but it's like, you know what I mean?
It's like a little,
like sometimes a flying fox is just with your arms, but this one is like one you can sit on. So there's two. There's one that's like a ski lift thing that you just put your legs over like that, like you take it. And the other one's like an actual seat, like made of rubber or something. And like the first time I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I have to go on that. That it looks so fun. And then when my friends came over one time with their kids as well, there was like, they have 4 kids and there was like 2 of them and there was 2 of us. And we went to the park and we all had goes on the swings and we were having races, and like the adults and the kids. And we had so much fun and there was so much laughter, you know. And it's such a simple thing and it's free and it's outside and it's, you know, it's amazing that something so simple could be so fun and just like create so much joy and you know, for no money. It's just there. It's in the park, you know. And we were entertained for ages.
That reminds me of Japan. You know, I have to post a video. There are slides on like rolls, you know, rolls, and you have to sit on a carpet or on something. Otherwise, you have your butt is like massaged quite heavily. So, but we went to one in the mountains of Takatsuki. That's the village or the city where Ken and I met 20 years ago. And there was a group of, I don't know, 10 grown-ups having so much fun. You had to walk up quite steep to the hill, and then the ride down is so long, and it was so much fun. And I meet
so fun.
Yeah. So yes, let's build more playgrounds outside for grown-ups.
For adults.
So cool. Yes.
Yeah. I say yes. I'll vote for that.
And it's always, you know, the more commercial things like, how do you say that in German? You say rodeln. You know, you have like a sled and it's all organized and you have to pay for each ride and it's going down the mountains and you can go up with the cable car of the winter season. But these places are always crowded and it's quite expensive. And of course, that's fun too. But for me, it's more valuable when I can create fun and joy in everyday life. And then on top of that, you can go to places which are special or costing money. But if you can create fun and joy and happiness and having, I love your adventure walks. Then you win. You just win. You're
like today on my adventure walk, where did I go? I did the Bibra Lake one and then I did a second one. So that was one adventure walk and I still felt like more adventure. So I had a couple of meetings today, which I went to. And then afterwards I went to, I drove to South Fremantle and I parked the car far away from the town. So I had to walk in because I knew I can, like, it's a nice walk to go in and it was a beautiful sunny day. So I wanted to get some sunshine and fresh air. And I thought, I'm going to walk this way today. And I walked along like the main pathway. But there's just so many little things you see. Like I saw this little playground, which I haven't really noticed much before. It's like some community has come together and made a community garden with all these little chairs for kids and murals and mosaics. And that's just part of on the walk, you know. And then I walked all the way into town. I had to pick up something. And then I went and saw my cousin. She was at work. So I went and saw her and gave her a big hug and had a nice chat with her and ran into another lady that works there who was really lovely. We had a good chat. And then I left there and walked down this main street and ended up like, I'm hungry, I'm going to get some food, and went to a cafe I don't usually go to and had some nice Asian food and, you know, soup bowl thing. And then I kept walking down this street and ended up at this other cafe I'd never been to before, and had a little espresso and a macaroon. And it's like a little French style cafe. And I thought, oh, I can almost feel in Europe now, you know, like it's just those little things. And I sat there doing some business. Like I had to do some emails and calls for my music to organize some concerts and some details and send them some information and pictures. And so it's a perfect place to do it, is just to sit in a cafe where there's no other real distraction around for me, because it's like, I'm not at home. If I'm at home, I'm more likely to get up and wash my dishes and do the clothes and do the floors, or, you know, other things. But if I'm in a cafe and it's just me and a coffee and my phone, I can like literally just send emails and call people and, you know, do that business stuff. But it's fun, you know, it makes it fun.
Yeah, I was just thinking like, yeah, you are free. You know, your work is so free. You can do adventure walks. I can't, but that's not true. You can do an adventure walk back home from your work, or
Yeah.
And even, I mean, that sounds so cheesy, but for me, even in your backyard, you can have adventures. Like
Absolutely.
I was talking about that earlier. Like with Mika, I was eating dinner on our picnic blanket, and then we were laying down and just watching the grass, like really normal, not like tennis court grass, like really normal wild grass. And there were so many animals in there. Like zooming in, did you see the movie Darling, you know, when the kids are like this little and they have to find
Honey,
their
I
way.
Shrunk the Kids.
Yes, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I haven't seen it, but I know
That would be funny too. That would be fun to watch. It's kind of old school because it's quite, I don't know, I was maybe 13 or something when I watched that. So 30 years ago. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yes. So yeah, we were just in awe. Like there was a little ladybird, and then a ladybug, and then snails and ants in different sizes. And just it was like something is happening down here, and we just don't pay attention. So yeah. And then I think it depends on outer circumstances, like am I hungry, am I tired, am I stressed, that I can feel the fun. Like you need some, what is it, like relaxed feelings for having a fun moment, or what is it for you?
That's a good question. I think like this job I've been doing, like the managing the cafe job, has been like very exhausting and tiring, because it's very long days, many, like really lot of hours every day, like maybe 9 and 10 hours a day on your feet, working, serving people. And when I finished there, after doing all the ordering and all this other stuff, which is very mental, kind of like trying to organize things and staff and this, that, the other, I'm driving away from there, and every day I'm so tired. And literally the first thing I usually feel like doing is I want to just go home and go to sleep. And it's only, I'm working like 6 till 3 or 6 till 4. So it's only 3 or 4 in the afternoon when I'm leaving there, and it's still bright outside, and everyone else is still, or everyone else, apparently, you know, normal people doing their normal jobs, whatever, are probably still at work, or you know, they won't go home till 7 or like 6, or I don't know. And so I feel like it's so early in the day to go home and just sleep, but my body just goes, I need it. And I'll just go home, have a shower, maybe go to bed, and just like even have a nap for half an hour, and then get up and like make some dinner and then do some other stuff. So I think sometimes for me, it's very important to tend to my actual needs first. Like physically, if I'm tired or exhausted, I should sleep. And sometimes I forget that, and I try and push, like, oh no, but I said I would go to Pilates tonight, so I'm just going to push myself to just get ready and go and be there. And sometimes it's worth it to do that because you feel so much better. But other times it's like, no, I really just need to sleep. I just, so like the other night on it because it's a Thursday night. I would normally go to my friend's class to do Pilates, and I love it. And we catch up afterwards, and we have what we call book club, which is like a cheeky wine across the road, or just or whatever. We have fun together, and I miss those nights. I miss catching up with my friend and doing these fun things, but sometimes I'm so exhausted and tired that literally I have to put that as priority. I have to go, okay, my body needs just rest. And like last Thursday or just yesterday, whenever, what's today, Friday? Yeah, so the other day I came home and I slept for 2 hours straight. And then I got up because my body was just like, ugh. So I think, I think first for joy, I think sometimes you have to sleep first. for me anyway, sleep and then joy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think having the possibility in your mind, I could cancel tonight, like if it's Pilates or even a date with somebody, or like you ask your friends to come over, even with the whole family, and you're like, tonight I can't do that. Just tell them, and maybe they're so happy because they were like, oh, it's like the kids are cranky or whatever, and then it's just a perfect fit. So I think if we get easier, and I don't mean like, oh, I'm not coming, oh, like not being reliable, I don't like that, but like honestly telling somebody that you need this instead of that, I think it's always helpful for both sides. But we have the expectation to be like perfect humans and robots. But it's a fine line on to be like not reliable. I want to teach Mika, if she says I go to this birthday party, she can't cancel a half an hour before it starts, That's like, no, you don't do that. You have to think, do I want to go or not, like beforehand? And then we can say, I'm not coming. That's totally your choice and absolutely okay. I hate when people even have their wedding and they think we need to invite this person and that person. No, not at all. Oh, she will be angry. So what? If you want her to be your guest, that's wonderful. And if not, just don't invite her.
Yeah, there's so much kind of obligation.
Obligation is a better word, yes.
Yeah. It's even like today I had 2 different job interviews today because I'm leaving this other place and I'm going somewhere new. And one of them I did in the morning and that was great. And then the second one was to do a massage job. And I just I'd been thinking about it last night and then today, and I was talking with a friend and I was like, I don't actually want to go for this interview anymore. I've changed my mind. Like, I don't actually want to go there and give this person a massage to have an interview or because it doesn't actually suit me 100% anymore, this job. It's like they wanted me to work on a Sunday and I want to keep my weekends free for music. And so I had to really think about, well, what's my priority? What do I want? And then I had to kind of realign like what I said I would do or not do to suit what my priority are for myself. And so I had to then I felt awkward because I'd already said, yes, I will come and I will do this commitment, But then I was like, I don't want to anymore. So then I text the guy because it was quite early. So I just sent him a text explaining. I just said, look, I've had another job offer. It's this. So I won't be coming today, but thank you for your time, and it was fine. And he said, yeah, I totally understand. And it wasn't a problem. But, the amount of stress and obligation I felt for saying no or changing my mind was like, oh God. But then suddenly when I said no, I felt so much freer. Then I had the whole day so much more open and free and more spacious to then go for another adventure walk. I could suddenly then have space to do what I actually wanted to do today, which is like have a day off.
I remember my first business coach. She was so expensive. She was Australian too, and I did still my Japanese business ideas and just building from scratch. And I was collaborating with a girl from Switzerland, and she was so motivated. But as we were going, I was like, oh no, this will not work out. And she will do all the things I wanted to do, like video editing and so on. and I felt so bad. And this coach said, look, you can cancel a wedding in the church. You can just say no. And you can divorce afterwards, but you could just say it's over now. And I was like, no, we did so much work already. We prepared the logo. And she said, will it bring joy? Like, how do you feel in 5 years with her? Will it be joyful? Like, no way. Like, so stop it now. I'm like, no, I can't. Yes, you can. That was so helpful that she pushed me to just, it was hard, you know, sometimes decisions are really brutal.
Yeah.
And she hated me for just quitting this project, but we didn't sign a contract, you know. It was totally fine to just say, I'm so sorry, it's over. But sometimes, hard decisions will make your life so much better.
Yeah. And sometimes that's the same thing with actual relationships with like someone that you love, you know, and you just get to a point where it's like, this is not working for me anymore. Like, this isn't in alignment with all my values. Like, and because at the beginning, everything's always great. You know, it's the honeymoon period. Everyone thinks everyone's fantastic and you're so into each other and you're only seeing the good side and you're seeing everything with rose-colored glasses. And then like a few months into it, you start going, that's so annoying that you do that. I can't believe you like, and you know, all the things come up which are not what you like or whatever. And, you know, and you're having to kind of then weigh up, is this something I can compromise on, or is this something that I really value and it's very important to me? And like in my previous relationship, I had to really think about it really long and hard and come to terms in myself that it's okay to have these values. Like there's some really things that might seem really silly to other people, but for me, it's such a deal breaker. And it might be very small things, but they're so important to me. And if those little things aren't followed, it creates kind of stress and chaos in my life, like as a constant feeling. And it's like, that doesn't bring me happiness. You know, if I want to feel, and my main thing with, you know, leaving this last one was like, I needed to feel peace. I just didn't feel peace. You know, I needed to feel peaceful. And now I just have like, I have my peace back. I have my home. I'm here by myself, but I love it. I love my own company. I have my guitar, have my little guitar here on the bed. I have like, you know, musical gear here. I have my paintings. I have colorful stuff everywhere because that makes me happy. And I can have silence when I want silence. It's like, wow, you know, that's amazing. Or I can put up my like hip hop music and dance around the house at 4 a.m. if that's what I want, which I do most mornings because that makes me happy as well, you know. And some other people would never like understand that. Like, why have you got this loud music on? Oh my God, I'm trying to sleep, you know. But for me, I'm awake anyway, so I want to get up and dance, you know. that's what my, you know. And it's important to me to be able to do that and to like have this fun and creative adventure sort of stuff every day in my life.
So like if you have a relationship which is worth sticking to it, you could have like, you know what, we know we need 2 apartments because otherwise I can't dance at 4 a.m. So or just you can work around things which are again not normal. Even having separate bedrooms is in Switzerland, it's like, oh, your relationship is going down the what is the term? Oh, you having problems
down the gurgler.
Yeah. I mean, if we would have a bigger apartment, we would totally have that. And I mean, it's just let's do it your way, our way, and find out.
And I know so many people. I mean, I hear as I get older, I hear so many older couples say, "Oh yeah, we sleep in separate beds, or we sleep in separate rooms because he snores or she does this or whatever." Like, and they're just so like that's just how it is. And I'm like, oh. That it can be totally normal. Like a lot of people do that. But you don't hear about it.
I mean, some 100 years ago, it was a necessity to have to be warm and to sleep in one bed with your siblings. Like nobody had her or his or their own bed.
Yeah.
of course, it's a luxurious thing, and even it's not 100 years ago. It depends where you live in on this planet, where you have to share beds or you want to share.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I think it's a luxurious thing to have the choice. And if you can't change the circumstances or you don't want to change the circumstances, you can even choose your attitude and your mood.
Yeah.
It's not easy all the time, but you can.
Yeah.
You can work on it. That's my whole passion. Like in the Joy Academy, that's what we do. Like you don't have to kick out all the people in your life, but if you are getting like you said, enjoying your own company more and more, you're freeing up everything. I mean, as I got older and wiser, I hope so, working on myself, working through all the traumas and the problems, you can be more open, like without judgment to people like not in your lane, or like having a good conversation even with people who are totally different opinion in politics or whatever, because you enjoy your own company. You don't need the acknowledgement of another person. But then again, if it's a snarky person like this guy at your gig, it's like, oh, I don't need you in my life, bye. So
Yeah.
it's a constant dance, and it's yeah, I like to call it the game of life, or the dance with life. Even I know that this is a privilege to say that, it's not that easy for everyone. But in any circumstance, you are you, and you can decide how to think and how to act and what you say or don't say. That's like everybody has a choice. And kindness is free too. Like, yeah.
I really like there's a saying, who I think it was by, who's that lady that does desire maps? Danielle Laporte.
Yes.
I think it is.
Yes.
And she has there's this like I followed her for a little while, and I don't now, but I was for a little while just following her stuff, her content or whatever. And she had this one saying that always stuck with me, and it was like, have a big, loving, open heart and a big fuck off fence. It's like so like, be loving and be beautiful and be awesome to people, but know your boundaries, and be clear with your boundaries as well, because it's important to have both, because there are people that also just take advantage of loving, kind people, that there are those kinds of people out there. And so it's like, it's really interesting for me to like play with recognizing what my boundaries are, and having, and creating some where there wasn't any before, because then it creates a safe space for you to totally be yourself, and be comfortable laughing at things and playing on swings and slides, and not caring really what other people think or feel about you, because you've got your own space, it's like your aura or whatever, but it's like, you literally feel it.
That's the golden bubble meditation,
Yeah.
Like, and I just talked with a friend yesterday. She said, this is so helpful in my business life. It's my space, and I really see it, and people are welcome to enter, and talk and having meetings and decisions and contracts. But this is my space, and every day I'm super aware of it. It feels easier, and yeah, she said, this makes such a big difference every day in my life to have my golden bubble around me.
I need to go do your meditation again. I haven't done it for a long time.
How cool is that? And then you can,
it's on your website, isn't it?
Yes, and in the Joy Academy too. So so there are so many different variations, but in the end it's like having this golden bubble. And then I know, if you know your boundaries, I always say, when I was pregnant with Mika, everybody was touching my belly. I was like, come on, are you serious? And the day I decided that the next person I will punch in in their face if they touch my belly without even asking and without even knowing me. And nobody did it after that. Nobody. Like,
wow.
It's really, if you know it for yourself, and that's for me, that's the golden bubble too. It's powerful to, and fuck off fence for me, it's too protective, kind of. If I know my boundaries, it's expensive. It's like,
it doesn't have to be like those words. It's more like, I just thought it was funny the way she put it at the time. But it's more about having just like that clear, just being clear about what is your boundary, you know?
Yeah. So as soon as you feel like I need protection, I think it's a weaker feeling than just like, I know myself, this is my space, and I take care of myself. Like, this is very powerful to me. But it's kind of the same thing. So it's just the wording and the feeling, which is different, I think.
Yeah.
But like shielding off negative energy, I'm like, well, you could just shine your own energy out, and negative energy doesn't have a chance to come in. And if it comes in, you can kick it out again. It's like visual around you.
It's a more powerful feeling, I think.
Just, when I do a speech, I do this golden bubble imagination somewhere quiet. I don't have a green room yet, but like, and then I fill the whole room.
You got a blue room.
Yes, that's a blue room. I have pink on this side. You see my
nice.
Here? So
cute.
Like filling the whole room. I did that even with teaching, you can expand this golden bubble and fill the whole, if you have a gig, the whole venue. And I bet if you do that on purpose, this Turkey guy would have left without even talking to you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, if you fill the room with your energy, like, and you do that with your music, of course.
Yeah. But I think it's also like when you can do it consciously, because I do it sometimes unconsciously, and then it comes, and then I become conscious of it happening, Whereas if you can do it from the start as a conscious practice and like filling up the room. And it's funny that you say that, because I've literally been working on this with a healer lady that I see, and she's like, don't, what was the thing she was saying? You're not a host for other people. You are hosting your own light. That is what you're a host for. And she's like, you're not a host for other spirits and other souls and other people. You are a host for your own light, and your stage. You hold space for your own stage. You hold space for your own light. And so we were literally talking about that like maybe a week ago. So it's really interesting that you're reiterating the same, idea again.
Yeah. And it's I did this live training with Bo Eason in California, and he has a green room when he does a speech, and he is the first one in the venue, and he goes around, and we did that in this beautiful little opera in La Jolla in California. Like, he said, go around the room and touch the whole wall once.
Oof.
Before you have your speech, maybe in the afternoon, but like the room is just prepared for you. I love this. That's like,
great.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yes. Again, if this is not possible, then you can fill it up with the golden bubble, and people are invited to join you with your music, your energy, your words. But then you can like put the size on your size again, and it's all yours. So
I love that.
I'm curious, and we have to post all your links and your music to Spotify. And maybe you have a playlist with all the top hits of all your CDs, or we can do fun things on the blog.
Yeah.
And also,
I would have to show you one last thing before we go. This is I'm going to take you on a little adventure through my house just quickly. This is the one last thing I have to tell you about Joy. I'm just going to turn the light on as well. So when I went to your house, you know this story, and I stayed there one time, and we were looking, for some reason we were looking in the cupboard, and there's all these amazing tiny little cups in the cupboard. I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. I love them so much. And you're just like, oh, you can have them. And I was just like, it was like all my Christmases came at once. And so now they live here in my little space. See all these tiny little cups. I love them so much. And they bring me so much joy. Look how beautiful they are. Oh my God. And so I've been having my little coffee espresso every morning in this little, like my little new espresso maker thing, and having like tiny cups. Just having an espresso. Such a nice way to start the day.
And I got these cups every year for birthday, and I was like, oh my God, this cup, like, come on. And now that you love them so much, it's just perfect. They were staying in my attic for over 20 years, I think. And now they're living in Australia with your love. I mean, how cool is that?
I love them so much.
Thank you so much. I mean, we could talk for ages. And just tell people your website, and we will put everything in the show notes.
Yeah, so you can find my website is prita.com.au. So it's prita.com.au. And probably the other best place is Instagram, Prita_Grealy. But you can find everything through my website. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Enjoy and clear boundaries to us.
Yeah, go to bubbles.
Yeah, and slides and swings. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prita.
Thanks.
It has been so much fun.
Yeah.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Prita as much as I did. I mean, how cool is what she is doing in her life? And if you maybe had some like nagging voices in your head, like, oh yeah, look at her gorgeous life. What did I do? What did I achieve? What is my life about? All these nagging self-doubt voices in our head. Come on, let's get rid of them. They're just not helping. They are mean, like the mean bitch or the bitches, or even, you know, it doesn't have to be male or female. It's just these self-doubt voices are annoying. They destroy your happiness. They destroy your creativity. So let's get rid of them. And I invite you to a webinar at the 28th of October. That's Thursday. And it's for free, and you can spend 45 minutes with me and we will get rid of your self-doubts. How is that promise? I know it's quite challenging for me, but challenge accepted. And just sign up at joyismycompass.com/self-doubt, and you will get all the informations in an email, and you have to just confirm your email address. We have to do double opt-in in Europe, in Switzerland. So please look out for the email in your mailbox. You know, my last name, Sakata, is loved by spam filters. So if you find it, click on the confirmation link, and then you are on the list, and you will get all the informations up front to the webinar. And I will look forward so much spending time with you and getting rid of these self-doubts. Out, and lots of trust and believe in yourself, and all the good feelings. We will put them where your self-doubts were hiding, inside of your head. Take care and tell all your friends about that. And I will put the link into the show notes. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. Take care. Bye.